While sitting across from the Yale tenure committee, when department head Dr. Hartwell said Dr. Mitchell's research is insufficient, I remained silent. Because the evidence I carried in my pocket was powerful enough to show who was truly insufficient. My name is Dr. Jonathan Mitchell. I'm 52 years old, and for the past 20 years I've been a professor in the molecular biology department at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. Yale is one of the world's most prestigious universities, the pride of the Ivy League. Working here is a privilege. Getting tenure here means a lifetime guarantee. But I didn't get tenure because I was stolen from. It all started 5 years ago. In 2019, I made a discovery that could revolutionize cancer treatment. My apoptotic cell death reversal research had developed a method that could revive dying cancer cells. This discovery was powerful enough to completely change cancer treatment. And it was Nobel Prize candidate level. Dr. Victoria Hartwell was the head of the molecular biology department. Harvard PhD. 15 years at Yale. A very powerful name in the academic world. She appeared to be my mentor, but in reality she was the biggest enemy of my career. When I completed my research, it was about to be published in Nature magazine. Dr. Hartwell came to my office and said, "Jonathan, excellent work, but let's make a few corrections. I'll make you co-author, I'll be first author." I was shocked. "Victoria, this is entirely my research," I said. "I worked 16 hours a day for 20 months. Jonathan, you haven't gotten tenure yet," she said coldly. Such a big discovery shouldn't have an inexperienced name behind it. "As department head, I'm securing this work." "Victoria, this is academic theft," I said. "Jonathan, these are Yale rules," she said. "Either you accept it or your research gets shelved." "I'll talk to Nature, the editors know me." I was helpless. I didn't have the power to stand against Dr. Hartwell at Yale. As department head, she held my tenure chances in her hands. If I opposed her, I could lose not just this research, but my entire career. But I'll never forget the decision I made. I secretly copied all my research data, raw data, experiment results, lab notes, everything. I saved them to 2 flash drives. I hid one in the safe at home, started carrying the other with me always. Dr. Hartwell reorganized my research. She made herself first author, me second author. 80% of the paper was my work, but the signature order was arranged in her favor. The paper was published in Nature. Hartwell v. Mitchell J. et al. It made a big impact in the academic world. But the real problem wasn't the paper. Dr. Hartwell started presenting this discovery as her own in media, conferences, seminars. "The fruit of my 15 years of research," she would say. My name was hardly mentioned. American Cancer Society Award, Nobel Prize preliminary selection. While Dr. Hartwell collected all the credits, I remained as an ordinary co-author. The critical year for my tenure application had arrived. In 2021, I applied to the Yale Tenure Committee. 20 years of career, dozens of publications, thousands of citations. A perfect file on paper. But Dr. Hartwell had put her plan into action. She was campaigning against me in the tenure committee. "Jonathan is a good researcher, but his leadership qualities are weak," she would say. "He lacks independent thinking, constantly needs guidance." In the tenure committee meeting, there were 7 professors. Dr. Hartwell was presiding. I presented my file, answered questions. Then Dr. Hartwell spoke. "Dear colleagues, Dr. Mitchell has been among us for 20 years, she said. "He's a good worker, but not up to Yale standards. Even in the most important discovery of recent years, the apoptotic research, he remains second author. This shows his limited leadership capacity." I was raging inside. She was using my research to put me down, but I remained silent. Because the time hadn't come yet to act with the evidence I carried in my pocket. Prof. Davis asked, "Dr. Mitchell, why don't you have a major breakthrough despite staying at Yale for so long?" "My contributions in apoptotic research," I began. Dr. Hartwell interrupted. "Jonathan, your role in that work was at technical support level. The conceptual framework and experimental design were entirely mine." Big lies, but the time hadn't come yet to prove it. The tenure committee voted 6-1 rejection. My 20-year Yale career was ending. Only Prof. Elizabeth Warren had voted in my favor. "Dr. Mitchell, unfortunately your tenure application has been rejected." Dr. Hartwell said, "You need to leave the university within 1 year." That night at home, I talked to my wife, Sarah. "Jonathan, maybe this is an opportunity," she said. "You've been working at Yale for 20 years but always stayed in Dr. Hartwell's shadow." She was right. But there was great anger inside me. My 20 years of work had been stolen. The biggest discovery of my career had been published under someone else's name. This injustice couldn't remain like this. For 1 year I planned quietly. I followed all of Dr. Hartwell's movements. Which conferences she spoke at, which awards she was nominated for, which interviews she gave. I recorded everything. In May 2022 I left Yale, officially early retirement. At the farewell ceremony, Dr. Hartwell said, "Jonathan, you've had a long and successful career at Yale, hypocrite." But I continued working quietly. I continued my research as an independent researcher. I set up a home lab, started working with my own budget. My goal was only one thing: to expose Dr. Hartwell's lies. The bomb exploded 6 months later. In November 2022, the Nobel Committee called. They said the apoptotic research was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Medicine, but the award would go to Dr. Hartwell. They described it as Dr. Hartwell's groundbreaking discovery. That's when it was time for me to act. First, I wrote to Nature magazine. I sent a detailed letter to editor Dr. Sarah Chen. The authorship order in the Hartwell et al. Paper published in 2019 is misleading. I wrote, I attached all the raw data, my lab notebooks, time-stamped files. Dr. Chen called a week later. "Dr. Mitchell, these allegations are very serious," she said. "If true, this is a scandal that will shake the academic world." "Sarah, I have 3 years of evidence," I said. "Conduct an independent investigation." Nature editorial team started an investigation. They reviewed the paper, examined references, talked to other co-authors. The result came 2 months later. Significant concerns about authorship accuracy. At the same time, I also filed a complaint with Yale. I made a formal complaint to the Academic Integrity Office about Dr. Hartwell, with charges of research misconduct and authorship fraud. Yale initially tried to remain silent. They didn't want to lose prestige, but when Nature's investigation made big news, they had to take action. Yale Academic Integrity Committee was established. All of Dr. Hartwell's research was taken under examination. The evidence I provided was checked one by one. When the results were announced, the academic world was shaken. Yale finds significant evidence of research misconduct. It was revealed that there was authorship manipulation in all of Dr. Hartwell's publications in the last 5 years. Not just my research, but she had also claimed the work of other junior colleagues as her own. Disciplinary proceedings against Dr. Hartwell began. She was removed from her department head position. Her tenure was canceled. She was fired from Yale. A 15-year career ended in an instant. But the biggest blow came from the Nobel Committee. They made an announcement from Stockholm. Authorship concerns due to recent investigations. Dr. Hartwell's Nobel candidacy was cancelled. My name was nominated as the real researcher instead. In October 2023, a call came from Stockholm. "Dr. Mitchell, you have won the Nobel Prize in Physiology, or Medicine." After 20 years, the recognition I deserved had come. In my speech at the Nobel ceremony, I said, "This award is a tribute not only to science, but also to academic honesty. Truth will always prevail, no matter how long it takes." Dr. Hartwell's story didn't end here. After being expelled from the academic world, no one wanted to hire her. Research misconduct is an indelible stain on an academic CV. Last I heard, she's working as a basic-level analyst at a pharmaceutical company. Yale offered me to return, department head position, tenure guarantee, 300% increase in research budget, but I refused. "Yale, you supported Dr. Hartwell for 15 years. I only needed 1 year for justice," I said. Instead, I established my own research institute, Mitchell Institute for Molecular Medicine. I support young researchers, prevent their work from being stolen. Protecting academic integrity became my mission. Last month, I encountered Dr. Hartwell at a coffee shop in New Haven. When she saw me, she looked for a place to escape. But I went to her. "Victoria, how are you?" I said. "Jonathan, I'm sorry," she said. "I was thinking differently then." "Victoria, you stole my 20-year career," I said calmly. "But you know what? Thanks to you, I became much stronger." "Jonathan, can you forgive me?" she asked. "Victoria, I already forgave you," I said, "because my revenge was justice. You got your punishment. Today I work at the Mitchell Institute. I see my Nobel Prize hanging on the wall every day. Below it is a small plaque. Stolen but not lost. Truth prevails." While sitting across from the Yale Tenure Committee, Dr. Hartwell had said my research was insufficient. The evidence I carried in my pocket showed who was truly insufficient. 4 years later, those who steal in the academic world should not forget. Truth is patient, but inevitable. Wait like me. Justice comes sooner or later. Yale taught me that, after 20 years,